Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.
It's the After the Show podcast, precious.
We don't care, we're about to swear on the air. It's the After the Show, so tune in if you dare. KVJ, get risque every single day. It's uncensored. We can say what we want to say.
Yeah, here we go. Happy Monday. Welcome to the KVJ After the Show podcast. Bird is not with us here today. He came in this morning and laid on the floor and has no energy, and you're a little bit alarmed apparently with what you saw. I didn't get to see him this morning, but sent him right out and said, hey, well, you need to go get yourself a COVID test just to make sure you don't have it.
Yeah, just because you don't want to be that guy that passes it around at work, came to work and stayed sick.
Yeah, I hear you. That's just it. I guess it's better to be safe than sorry.
Yes.
As we've all found out here the hard way. Learning hard COVID lessons.
Yeah. Do as I say, not as I did.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It is still very confusing, though. It really is. It's just try to navigate and figure out all these things. I think the reality of it is that it is very tough for a lot of people because right now the status is that if you go out, I know I've talked to some people that have had to deal with this where they can't get back to work, and they're like, "Well, you know what? I didn't even have it. I shouldn't have said anything." And they missed 2 paychecks because they had to sit out long enough, and they're going, "Dumb me." You know, I just had one day where I felt a little bit off, and I'm like going, "Hey, I just want to go," and then they're like, well, that's 14 days, and they didn't get paid for it.
Well, as soon as you show them the negative test, shouldn't that say, okay, I can come right back?
Yeah, they had it where some of the testing sites, it was kind of crazy. They're having a hard time trying to find the testing site and all this kind of stuff. And so it just, the way it kind of kept falling. And, it's been a while, thankfully, since I've done it. Probably, a month, maybe 3 weeks or somewhere around there. Denise had sent us an email, and she said COVID numbers are down because they're closing testing sites. Every other day I found out another friend has it, so I'm just baffled by all the low numbers. I don't know if they are or if they're not. The only testing sites I went to, I think, are still cranking. Just my quick little hack on it, what I'm doing, and I'm sure it's going to change week to week and month by month, but I went and I downloaded the Gov2Go app, G-O-V, the number 2, and then go. You make an appointment. I went for the rapid testing sites. In Palm Beach, it's Fit Team. I think in Broward, it's Holiday Park. Then in Miami-Dade, you've got Hard Rock Stadium, and then you've got Marlins Park. So those are like the 4, I think, in South Florida where you can go. And pretty much every time I got my results within 90 minutes.
Yeah, I went this morning to try to see if I could get Jay Bird in there, but they were not booking any appointments for today at any of those locations you just listed. The first appointments were going to be available tomorrow.
That is the trick. And yeah, on the weekends now, I think they are kind of shutting down. I know the last time I went and got my negative COVID test, I was the only car there at the Fit Team ballpark. There's no one else there. And I was like, wow. And so, maybe if they're seeing a lot less cars, maybe they are closing some testing sites. So, I don't know. Yesterday, the numbers, 1,868 new cases. Statewide, 3.74 positivity rate is what they're looking at. And, Palm Beach still in the 3, Broward in the 3, Miami-Dade in the 4. So, they look for that 5 and under. And, I guess right now those numbers are still there. So, but it's just, trying to figure out what the truth is and how to handle it. Somebody had texted in earlier because I was talking about it'd be interesting to see if jobs, because the tests that are coming out, the rapid ones right now that I think the state of Florida is supposed to get on Friday, are only $5 a pop.
That is amazing. Can I buy a case of them?
That's where if we get to that point, I'm wondering if you'll be able to go out and businesses can keep like 50 rapid tests. So if somebody is out in their car, they may have something where it's like, hey, I'm not feeling great. Somebody goes and like, okay, we'll put a test at the front door. You can come in the middle of the parking lot, grab it, take it, and then, you need to chill or whatever and let us know. Or maybe they give each employee one to take home with them. And if you ever feel down and out, take the test. And then before you come in that day, send us a snapshot photo that, you got a negative.
Let's make it as easy as we possibly can.
Right.
Because who amongst us hasn't woken up with a tickle in their throat? And since March, you wake up with a little tickle and you think, oh, it got me. And wouldn't it be great to do a quick 5-minute little test and find out for the peace of mind? Just so you know, okay, I'm good to go into work, or no, I need to stay my ass at home.
Well, and the more you know about somebody's status on where they are with the COVID, the more you'll be able to accurately quarantine them. So there's not excessive quarantine amounts and you're not missing out when you don't have to. I think some people are like going, I had to sit out for 14 days and there ain't nothing wrong with me. Those kind of things are happening a little bit. So, we'll see. But that's interesting stuff. Yeah, so I don't know. I mean, maybe in your world it feels like more and more people are getting it. And I think more and more people, you are starting to have that. I remember that when it first was happening, I remember people like going, I don't even know anybody has it. And now, like I said, I honestly think that almost about everybody's going to have it at some point. I think it's so rampant and it's going around so much that it's going to be hard for a lot of people to say that they don't. The good news is, again, the death rates are relatively low for anybody that is under the age of 70. And even then, 70 plus is 94.6% survival rate. And then you go, 70 below, it's 99.5. So that's you got to feel pretty good about your odds on that.
Yes.
That's pretty solid. And I even saw that even though the numbers are going up, the hospitalizations seem to be dropping. They say that it's only 1 out of every 130 plus cases that actually need to be hospitalized. It's a 0.77% rate right now.
They're just figuring it out, you know? I mean,
they are.
Back in March, not the time to get COVID.
Right.
Now's the time to get it because they know how to help you so much better.
Yeah. And now it's really, instead of being, hopefully, at least especially for the healthy, not nearly as deadly, it's just very annoying, for a lot of people trying to navigate through it. And to try to keep it minimized. We were talking about they had found, I think, was it people with Neanderthal DNA, which I didn't even know people still had that. It's so weird how much discussion we had on Neanderthal last week, just on a basic random question of what species would you bring back. I mentioned Neanderthal, and then that story comes out the next day that, what was it? People that had Neanderthal DNA were more likely to have COVID, I think is what they were saying.
If you have like a big forehead and heavy knuckles,
right,
COVID's coming for your ass.
And Engineer Key said 23andMe tells me I have more Neanderthal DNA than most people. 93% more than other customers. And he even sent the printout that is there. So I guess they test for Neanderthal DNA if you do the 23andMe. He said one thing that seems weird about the people with more Neanderthal DNA having worse symptoms for COVID is that I rarely have severe symptoms from illness. I get sick enough to go to the doctor about once every 4 years, and I usually don't get a flu shot. I will be getting one this year. If my wife and I get exposed to the same germs, I'll have mild symptoms for 8 to 12 hours. She'll be infected for days.
Huh.
I've always had a kick-ass immune system, but I'm sure all those shots in boot camp didn't hurt. Yeah, maybe. It is, like I said, it's baffling.
It really is how it just wrecks some people, and then other people are like, I'm good, let's go.
Yeah. Not that big a deal. Hopefully, the test will start letting you know how much of COVID you have. Like I said, it needs to not just be positive, negative. It needs to be, at what viral load.
Give me my load.
You need your number. And I think there are some people where it's like, if you have 10, they're like, yeah, you can go out. You're not contagious. So remember last week I was talking about that COVID study that patients only had a 2.6% chance of passing on the virus during close contact when out in the community. It's 9% while inside a home, but a mere 8% of COVID-19 carriers are responsible for 60% of the new infections. So most people aren't even spreading it when you have it. It's 8% that are doing 60% of the damage.
It's the big talkers. It's the spitters like me.
Yeah, or maybe the ones that really have a big viral load too.
Yeah.
And you got to know whether or not they do. Yeah, they say 71% of COVID-positive patients in the study did not infect any of the people they came in contact with, which explains how in like my household, nobody else was getting it.
Yeah.
And, in those circles where I went out to eat with people when I should have had it, none of them had it, and they all got tested like the very next day. So just kind of crazy. So
It's very crazy.
We'll find out from Bird what's going on. Heather sent an email, said, I want to ask, this is not talk about me personally and my husband. We're talking about this. This is quite a question here. Might need a medical doctor to sound off on this. If you swallow a load from someone that has COVID-19, can you get COVID, or is it just transmitted through snot, sneezing, and coughing?
Is your load in your load?
That's a great question. Yeah, if you're talking about a true viral load.
I don't know. I mean, can we get a swab and swab a cup?
It's a good question. Yeah, I would like to know.
Can you put a swab like you would put it up your nose in a cup of semen and be able to tell?
If somebody were wearing a mask and completely covered that part, can you catch the COVID from that? I don't know. Is the juice infected? Yeah, Heather wants to know.
Great question. This sounds like a little bit above our pay grade.
Yeah.
You may want to talk to a healthcare professional.
Yeah, if anybody knows, let us know.
We appreciate, though, your dirty-sided mind.
Well, I guess it's it's a valid question.
It's a very valid question.
What all do we have to watch here? How do we take care of stuff? It's crazy. All right, the more you know. We got a really interesting perspective on this. Somebody wants to remain anonymous, but remember last week we got an email from a dad that was getting extorted by his daughter, who was like, I'm going to do an OnlyFans. And he's like, you're not going to do an OnlyFans account. And she's like, what was she, 23, I think?
Yeah.
She's like, I'm 23. You can't tell me what to do. And then she comes back and she says, okay, if you give me $1,000 a month, I won't do it because I need money. I guess I think she was a bartender. So...
It's extortion light, but it's still her trying to exchange something that he's very emotionally tied to for his cash.
Yeah.
He's tied to her purity, and it's important to him that she remains such.
Yeah, she's like, if this is important to you, then give me $1,000 a month and I won't do it. The anonymous email says, I was listening to the segment about the daughter extorting her father by making the OnlyFans account. That father should not pay anything. He has probably bailed her out many times before, and that's why she's so confident that he will give her money again. I have two sisters that are 19 and 20, both with children, both with no money, and every time they need something, our parents bail them out. One of those sisters even went so far as to legitimately blackmail our father.
Oh, boy.
Every time he wouldn't give her money, she would make wild accusations against him. This 23-year-old girl sounds like a spoiled brat and needs to suck it up and get a job. Now, I am also 23, and I was a cam girl for a while, and it is not easy money. It takes interpersonal skills, marketing, and money management to survive in this game. Something tells me that if she can't keep a regular 9-to-5 job, she won't make it as a cam girl. Our jobs are 12 to 18 hours a day until you make enough of a client base. If this father gives in, she'll never grow on her own, and she'll always run back to him for more money. It doesn't matter what training he provides. Let her fall on her ass and learn something. So, I mean, this is from somebody his sisters have done it, and she's done the cam girl thing. So, there you go.
That's a very inside perspective.
I mean, yeah. Okay, what you said sounds good to me. And Susan said, hey, please remind your listeners that if they are looking for a job, the schools are looking for substitute teachers, and all you need is a 2-year associate's degree, and they can make an average of $85 per day. There are no benefits, but it's a paycheck.
Huh.
Yeah, huh?
It is. It's a paycheck if you want to teach.
Yeah.
It's a crazy time, though, to be out in the school system. I mean, teaching young kids is hard enough without everything that 2020 has now thrown at us. I say teachers deserve just parties every weekend, free lunches, beer, whatever they need. They are truly saving the day right now.
It is tough. Absolutely. I was talking to my wife. We were talking, because, you got colleges and you got all this kind of stuff that is going on. And I was wondering why they don't do a test-based system for education where you could basically test into any degree that you want. Because in the freedom of information age that we get, you legitimately can learn a ton of stuff just by reading, I was kind of talking about Bill Gates. It was kind of where our conversation was going and on reading and stuff like that. I was talking about Warren Buffett, how he gets up and just reads the first part of the day. And Bill Gates, his assistant always packs a bag for him with like 8 books in it. He's always reading. And he knows about computer science, but he'll read up on other things. And I was watching a documentary on him, and he'll go into like neuroscience and other places like that. And he'll be having conversations with these guys that have PhDs, and he can hang on their level because he reads so much about it that I wonder if you gave Bill Gates a test, if he couldn't almost get a PhD in some of these things. I'm like, why don't we have a society like that? I mean, if you can you could go to YouTube University, and if you know the information, why would you have to pay all this money to Scholastic University to get your degree? If you know it, right?
You would think that that's the way it's going to go in the future. Yeah.
I'd like to know why, except for just the greed of the universities who want to milk all your cash, why couldn't you just have a testing system where you go in and you would take a legit test and they'd find, all the ways so you can't cheat. It's just you and your knowledge where you walk in there. But if you can prove that you know what you need to know, why couldn't you be whatever it is you need to be? I was wondering that. I'm like, why not? And then you could have, like, if you need some extra tutoring, you could just hire all these people and you could have a network of a freelance business where you go and tutor people.
I think what you're explaining is exactly what Kim Kardashian is doing, trying to get her law degree. She's not in a university environment, as we all know.
Sure.
She's doing this with private tutoring, and she's trying to get her ducks in a row. I don't know if she'll ever eventually pass the bar and be, a legit lawyer, but she's talked about this is what she's doing.
I mean, why not? I mean, if you can do that, I mean, shouldn't you because, some people would be like, oh, I went to Harvard Law or this or that, and it's so prestigious. But you would just walk around with your test score and be like, I got this on the LSATs or whatever. And that really should be it. And you want to talk about trying to get universal education, making it more affordable, balancing things out. Why not just do a testing system like that? Or if you got the knowledge, you should be able to have the credibility and the credentials that come with it.
The universities want to shut you up, Ralston.
Oh, I'm sure they would, yeah.
They got a sniper out in the parking lot waiting for you to leave.
Yeah.
It's a big business, taking the tens of thousands from kids per semester.
Right.
Each kid's got to pay that. When you times that by their enrollment, it's staggering the amount of money spent on college tuition. It's not like when I went.
Well, a lot of these people were wrecking their lives too. Yeah, it's a lot more expensive. My whole college education was $20,000.
I went to in-state school at LSU, and it was $1,200 a semester. That is real. That was my tuition. Now, there was like a few, books and stuff you had to get on top of that. But $1,200 a semester. And then I had, Pell Grants and stuff.
It's a scam. It feels like a scam, and like a story like what Ryan said in the chat room said, I can't afford to finish my senior year at FIU, but I already know all the material from work. It's such bullshit. And I'm like, absolutely. I mean, it's... they've got you into this. It's a scam.
System.
It's
a scam.
It's a monopoly. It is a scam. And I'm like, why not? I mean, if you can do that. Now, Samara says standardized testing is a joke. I don't know that I'm necessarily talking about standardized testing. I'm just talking that, how you take the bar for your law degree. I mean, do you really have to have any kind of diploma to back that up? If I did the Kim Kardashian thing, I should just be able to walk in and take that. But do that for every line of work where you need credentials. Take the test. You walk in here and you can show us that you know it. Why not?
It's a fascinating conversation that I think our times are going to evolve that way as people start looking at their college debt and realizing this is ludicrous.
I think it would even the playing fields. And if you have libraries or places where people can get access to internet for free, then really anybody could walk in off the street and start, if they knew what the curriculum was and you had it laid out that, hey, you need to read this book or go on this website and watch these videos. And you're like, this would lay out everything you need to know. And here's what you do. You start with this, and somebody's like, here's your education. And you can start working on it in your own time. And then when you feel like you got it down, then you go take your test. You're going, hey, look, I'm a lawyer now. Why not?
It's crazy times.
That's my thought. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe somebody got something there to give us some insight on that. Why not do it? I got an email here from Teddy. Said, hey, what are your thoughts on recording engagement proposals? My girlfriend thinks it's worthwhile to record it to show family members or close friends who are not nearby. I think that it's not that important because, for instance, what if I wanted it to be a spontaneous moment? I feel like that moment should just be with us. But my girlfriend thinks that the proposal is what's leading up to marriage / the wedding, so it would be meaningful for her if it were recorded to look back on. Also, Virginia, was your engagement proposal recorded? What are your thoughts?
I think if it's important to your girl, you should try to make it happen. Just because you love her, you want to marry her, she's verbalized to you that she would like it to be recorded. So do that. Mm-hmm. You know, if it's at all possible in life, when you have a partner, make them happy.
Yeah.
If you just think about things from that perspective and not all the reasons why you don't want to record it, you're going to have a much happier life.
Right.
How can I make her happy? Oh, it's not that big of a deal for me to set up my iPhone in the corner.
Well, and the thing that I would think too, I mean, yeah, you could just set it up on a tripod and, still have it be spontaneous and still have, get a couple. In fact, be like, hey, can I borrow a couple people's iPhones?
Get a friend to hide in the bushes. You can do it. You can be creative.
Yeah, and I think even with the tripod, if you want to just have it you two, have it be a completely personal moment.
Totally.
I think
Put a
it's a way to do
tripod
it.
in the bushes. The thing is, if you do things like this to make her happy, she's going to realize, wow, I've got a great guy that even though he thinks it's stupid, he would still go out of his way to record it because he did it for me, because he loves me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And you'll start to learn in relationships. If it means something to your partner, don't fight it. Just go with it. You make them happy. If you ever have an easy way to deposit, make a solid, meaningful deposit into the positive category, take every opportunity you have. Because trust me, there will be a lot of withdrawals. There will be things you do that are annoying, that pisses them off. Every chance you get, it's just better off. Your life will be more rich. Your relationship will be better. If you're going to enter into the relationship in the first place, that should be your mindset every day. What can I do to make a positive deposit?
Because there will be a positive deposit, a love deposit.
That's it.
There will be withdrawals. Kevin is right. You'll make mistakes. Don't let this one be one of your mistakes, because this is easily controllable and avoidable, and you can easily turn this into a positive for you.
Yeah.
Don't pick your battles.
That's it. That's what I'd say. That's a lot easier. And you never even know where you're going to step on toes. You ever get in dumb fights?
Yes, all couples do.
Yeah. I ate the leftover sausage yesterday, and you would have thought I cheated on her.
You would have thought you ate some man's sausage.
Exactly, yeah.
I wasn't going down on dudes. I just ate sausage out the fridge.
And it's still today. It's a little rocky, all because I had 4 little pieces of sausage. I mean, it turned we were having a lovely weekend. It turned the entire weekend upside down. It ended on I'm like going, we're fighting over 4 nibbles of sausage. That's really it. We had a massive blowout because of sausage.
Welcome to marriage.
Yeah, I know. So that's what I'm saying. When you get a chance to do a little positives, that's a great way to do it. Got a couple of texts in here to add some insight. One on, can you transfer your viral load through your load?
Yes. The experts in the chat room, I'm sure they know about dropping loads.
Well, one text message said that they found that you can transfer COVID through poo. So more than likely, if you're swallowing a load, it could be transferred also.
Interesting.
Yeah.
If the person that you're giving a blowjob to is pooing, you're not doing it right.
Yes.
Poo is different than semen, though, right? In what it contains and where it comes from.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, I'm just trying to think. I don't know enough. I never had a class on poo versus semen.
Both are gross.
If I had to really break it down, yeah, I'm not an expert. An expert in either, unfortunately.
You have to get one all over you, and it's not yours. Which one do you take?
Well, that's a great question. It really depends upon whose it is.
It's a mixed bag. It's every one of your male coworkers on this floor.
Smells not as bad with semen. I think easier cleanup. That's the
But
positives.
just think about where it came from.
But it's
though.
the status of what it was.
Right.
That I've been covered in. I think I still choose semen.
I think you're right.
I think, yeah. I
think
don't
it's
like
the way
it.
to go.
I don't like it, but it's just because it's an easier cleanup. Yeah.
Poo is darker.
Yeah. And I'm just hoping that these guys have small loads.
Oh, Kevin. There's some big guys down the hall. I guarantee you they drop big loads.
Okay, so this is outside of KVJ. I thought it was just the
No,
guys
this is
in
every
KVJ.
guy on the floor that we work
yeah.
with.
Yeah.
Every
You ever, as a woman, can you look at a guy and be like, oh, yeah, he's got a lot?
definitely.
Yeah.
Remember we did this test back in the day
Yeah.
with us at Wild 95.5 and all the guys that were either on our show or affiliated with our show. And we called it before the test who
Yeah.
was going to have the biggest load.
Yeah.
You could tell by looking at this guy.
Do they have, a large count or not?
He was just, he was a guy that looked like he threw a big number.
That's right, and he did.
He did.
And by a lot.
By a lot.
Dude, super fertile. He was like in the K-Fed category.
I'm telling you, girls, there must be something biologically in that.
There is.
Because I looked at this guy and I went, that MFer is going to drop a large one on us.
Yeah, he did.
And sure enough, his numbers were like double.
Yeah, it was. It was like he was setting records.
You can smell it, girls. Maybe it's in his pheromones. Maybe it's in the way he carried himself.
Yeah.
I can't tell you why, but we are animals. It's biological.
Absolutely. No, they do. They find that there's a lot in the way a guy carries himself and all those kind of things that goes to the bad boy and all these things you can't explain. Be like, why do I do that? It's biological. It's about your feeling about we still always go back and resort to that thing of we're trying to have the strongest offspring we can to try to survive.
Yep.
Before we had snowflakes.
You're an animal.
Yeah. Ain't nobody being a snowflake back in the Stone Age.
No, Neanderthal snowflakes, they didn't exist.
No, you're not going to survive. You're a snowflake. They're going to take you out. Got an email here. I know we talk about different places to go on vacation. Sometimes get some insight. What was crazy was the other day we were talking about different musicians just in South Florida, and I'd name dropped Brian Bobo. That used to be around here, used to play, and I always loved his stuff. I was like, yeah, he moved away. His wife still listens to the podcast, and he reached out. He now is a brewer in Asheville, North Carolina.
You love Asheville breweries.
He had been, at the Oscar Blues where I went. So I don't know if he was there when I was there, but I was like, oh, that's kind of cool.
That's very cool.
Yeah, so he's doing that.
You'll be back.
Oh, yeah, no doubt. Oh, I can't wait. I'm already like, when can I get back to Asheville?
Next time you go, you need to tell Bobo you're coming.
Oh, no doubt I will. I'll stay in touch. But Kristen was saying, Kev, I know you got family in and from West Virginia. My husband and I are traveling to the eastern part. We're flying into Baltimore and driving over the border between Davis and Charlestown, Harper's Ferry, Shepherdstown, that whole area. I don't think your family's from that particular area. I'm a big foodie and all that. No, they're not from there. And I don't have any family, I don't think, still left in West Virginia. It was the grandparents on both sides, and they gone. So... yeah, I don't have anybody over there currently, so I don't know. I will tell you that, I've been around to most places in West Virginia. Used to go to Morgantown a lot, to the school, and have been through some of the cities. Sometimes it's challenging to find places in West Virginia. West Virginia is very rural.
It's not known for his upscale culinary stops.
Yeah, I remember where my grandparents, my mom's side, they lived in the southern part of the state, very poor areas called Lewisburg. And I remember my cousin and I, we were trying to go find a good time, and the only place you could go was the bowling alley that they had. That was the only place where you could have any fun. There was about 100 cars in the parking lot, and 99 of them were trucks. We were the only actual car. I'm like, I don't know, man.
We're about to get our ass kicked.
Do we roll the dice on this or not?
I don't think we're man enough to bowl here.
Yeah, I don't know if this is the right stop. But we will put the word out if anybody knows any places in that area. you can let us know, and we'll try to find some. Maybe they got something cute and quaint tucked away for you.
There's always something,
Yeah.
especially now, even in boring, horrible places like where my dad lives in Bowling Green, Kentucky.
Yeah.
15 years ago when I went to Bowling Green, it sucked dung. But now when I go to Bowling Green, there's actually a few little breweries. There's a few little quaint, trendy, hip spots, restaurants. If you go closer to like a university environment, even if it's a small school, you're better than, say, out in the hillbilly sticks.
Right.
But a lot of places now have little trendy things popping. If Bowling Green can get something trendy, there's hope for West Virginia.
Okay. There you go. Yeah. So if anybody knows, I know Morgantown you can throw down, but that's a different story. There's a big university there.
Yes.
Sarah from Twitter sent an email and said, happy 11th birthday to my angelic scruffy boy, Maxie. He's made the last decade the best decade. We love you, Maxie boy. I miss you guys. Been Jones and Sahar for some cocktails and karaoke. I think we can all agree to say, go F yourself, COVID. Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. And also had another quick birthday shout out, 14th to Dalton. So said, see, moms are still cool. She sent that in a little bit late, but I wanted to get that out for you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah. And if you got any other birthdays, we normally do them on the regular show about 7:10. You can send us an email, mail@kvjshow.com. Well, we'll try to keep you up on the impending Jaybird drama. Hopefully we can somehow find a place to get him a COVID test today. If not, he probably won't be back with us until Wednesday, just to make sure he's COVID negative. He, feels run down and all that kind of stuff.
He's got a few of the symptoms. No cough or anything, but we'll keep you posted.
And we don't know if he had a fever. He just felt like...
I can't say. I don't know.
Yeah, I felt a little dizzy and just tired. Was that pretty much it?
On Saturday, he seemed a little dizzy and tired.
Okay. All right. Well, we'll try to figure out what is going on and then let you all know as soon as we know. So you guys have a great day. Follow us on social media, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. We're all there. Just look for the KVJ Show, and we'll see you back here tomorrow. Goodbye.
Cleveland Clinic, Florida provides individualized treatment plans for excellent outcomes of health problems ranging from the most common to the most complex, even in cases considered untreatable by others. Cleveland Clinic, Florida. Every life deserves world-class care.